Hey guys, how's it going? This is Lincoln and Erik Castellanos. I play Tobias on AMC's Fear the Walking Dead, and you're listening to Creech Questions.
Hi, this is Erik Jensen, Dr. Edwards from The Walking Dead, and you are listening to my friend CJ on Creech Questions.
Hey everybody out there, welcome back to Creech Questions. This is episode 44, and we've got another amazing episode lined up for you today. In the background is Theorem and Louise with the Creech Questions theme song, East Virginia. You can listen to more of their music at www.theoremandlouise.ch. Now, like I was just saying, we do have an amazing episode lined up for you today. We have got our Walking Dead wrap-up. We've got 2 return guest interviews. So, normally at this point, I say let's go ahead and get into our shout-outs. But we're not going to do that this time. I do have a shout-out just really quick. It's to Jordan Woods Robinson. Last week was one of my favorite episodes to record. Not only with the interview with James Frazier of the Walker Stalkers, but just one of the nicest, kindest moments I've ever been witness to, with some of the cast from The Walking Dead calling in to encourage Vernon to keep up the good fight and beat cancer. And I was extremely honored to be able to take part in that, like I said last week. And so I want to thank him for helping me arrange that again. The Walking Dead family is actually very real, and it's just one of the nicest experiences I've had. Now, I'm also getting ready to go up to New York in a couple of days because we'll be covering Walker Stalker Con New York, New Jersey. And it's going to be an amazing time, an amazing event that I have to ask, if you are in the area, make sure you come up. It's definitely worth it. They're going to have many of the cast there, and you're just going to have a great time. You can find out more information at walkerstalkercon.com. Like I said, that is going to be the 4th through the 6th. It's Walker Stalker Con, New York, New Jersey. So make sure you go on there and check it out if you need to. It's definitely worth a look and worth a visit. Now, before we continue on, I also want to let you know about another great convention that's going on this weekend. In Roswell, Georgia, at the Cottage School, is going to be Biter Bash 2015. Now, this is a free admission event, and donations are always accepted. You can still, if you're a vendor out there and want to sell your craft, you can still actually purchase vendor tables as they are on sale. It's going to be December 5th and 6th for Biter Bash. There was one last year, which is actually a fun fact, where we did our second ever interview with Addie Miller, little zombie girl from The Walking Dead, and she's been in dark places. This event was where we did our second ever interview, which was actually our first ever podcast episode, all the way back to episode 1. So definitely make sure you check out Biter Bash 2015. Obviously, Biter Bash is going to be more focused on walkers. There's many great guests, so you should definitely check it out, and it's going to be a great time. Once again, if you're in Roswell, Georgia, go check it out. If you're in New York, New Jersey, go check out Walker Stalker Con. The last thing I want to talk about really quick before we get into the actual Walking Dead wrap-up is I found out about this actually the other day, and it was just so amazing that I have to mention it on the podcast and suggest you check it out. Now, I've gotten to know somebody named Mandy Greenman, and she works for a business called Dead On Designs, and what she does is she takes old records and vinyls and she puts images on them. She creates the images on them, and there's plenty of Walking Dead ones that look absolutely amazing that you can purchase. I saw a Lori one that, obviously being a Sarah Wayne Callies fan, It was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. So I highly recommend you check out Dead On Designs on Facebook and buy as many of her Walking Dead vinyls as you can. Now, that's going to do it for shoutouts and promoting. We are going to go ahead and get into the Walking Dead wrap-up. Now, as we were talking about last week, what my goal is to do is to make a revolving door of guests for the Walking Dead wrap-up, because from the feedback I got last week, and just from the feel when you're actually recording, me and Alyssa, I thought, did a really good job just as us. But I feel like having a round table of people just adds a different dynamic that is just amazing. And by switching people out, it keeps that dynamic fresh, because we're not used to each other. I mean, obviously me and Alyssa are, but this week we are joined by Tracey Phillips, who you can find on Twitter at Scrap. That's Scrap with 2 P's, and Fan. So that'd be SCRAPPNFAN. And she is a volunteer contributor to UndeadWalking.com. Our second guest is actually also one of our interviews this week. It's Mr. Lincoln Castellanos, who you may remember as Tobias on Fear the Walking Dead. So, without any further delay, let's go ahead and talk the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead.
This is all connected. You show up, and now 3 of us are gone.
Why'd you bring us here?
Hey, we
How's it
are
going, man?
we are all pretty good. I've got Alyssa, who's you met in Atlanta. She's our featured Walker co-host, and
Hi.
I have Tracey Phillips here from UndeadWalking.com.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Nice to talk to you. I know
Nice to talk
talked
to you,
with
too.
you talked with our Susie, or did an interview with Susie Graham.
Yeah,
for our
Susie's
group.
lovely.
Yeah, it was cool getting all that scoop from you. That was neat.
Yes, it was. Yes, very nice. Very, very, very fun.
So, what did everybody think of last night's episode?
It was good. It was really good.
I liked it.
Alyssa?
I realized. Oh, go ahead, Alyssa.
Oh, no, I thought it was really awesome. I loved there was just so much to digest, and then they just left us hanging massively. So now I'm just, like, super nervous for the rest of the holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly
Well,
what they left it on the most painful cliffhanger you could possibly witness. If you've seen the comic, that just left like a bad taste in your mouth. How they ended on the season finale.
Yeah. I don't read the comics, but I know like enough about them. I hear enough that it makes me anxious about some of the storylines. And then, yeah, to leave off there with so many different things going on, it was stressful. And I had to go back right away and watch it again because, like Alyssa said, there were so many different storylines, going on from different perspectives, and it was a lot to take in. And I thought Phil and Maggie were so close. They were almost touching hands. They were so close. I was hoping that we'd see them actually reunite, but I guess he's getting closer to her.
Definitely. Did anybody notice what happened to Tobin? Because I know Rosita and Tara picked him up and were carrying him, and then he just kind of disappeared for the rest of the episode.
I know. I was wondering about that too. All I could think was, they couldn't possibly have had time to drop him at his house, but that's a good mystery. I don't know.
Maybe they threw him into their infirmary where what's his name, Scott, where Scott is, and probably that's probably where Eric and Aaron are too, because they were MIA, as was Keith. There's a lot of characters that were not seen throughout the whole episode. So maybe they'll they'll show that part. Maybe they'll show that part later.
Yeah, because no one else knows that Denise is not there. We as the audience do. But, yeah, maybe they just said, here, get in here. You're going to need help. And then they went on to the garage or the school garage. That's a good idea. I could see that.
That actually is a really good idea.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that at all.
Now, I have to ask, I know pretty much the fan base is divided at this point between Morgan and Carol, and it came to a head last night in a fight. Do you think Morgan was in the right to still fight so valiantly to save the wolf's life?
No.
No, my goodness, no. I'm so angry
at
him.
It's a tough call. You want to believe that he is in the right because of the journey he's been through and how far he's come from, how low and dark he was at, as far as like his situation at one point, and then to see him fight, like to risk his life for somebody who is like just blatantly evil. It's tough. It's easy to say, of course, we're Team Carol. I just hope that they really don't make him, learn a painful lesson at the end of the season.
Right.
I really don't, because he's grown so much as a character. So he was wrong to fight for the guy because he's not going to change. But I support his beliefs like wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I got to say it's hard for me to not want to side with him because you want to feel like you as a person have those morals and want the best. But it was just so heartbreaking seeing Carol. She was in tears, saying, "Don't make me do this. Don't make me do this." They were at just total odds. So it is. I mean, they're definitely. It's easy. It's much easier to say no. He shouldn't have kept him captive. But when you really, really think about it, it's like, oh, well, could I do that? Of course, I'm not in that scenario. But if anything else, just tied up with a rag in his hands. If anything, he needs to be tied up a lot better because we see that did not work.
That's right.
Very true. What do we all think of Jessie, played by Alexandra Breckenridge? What do we think of her parenting skills last night, when she was telling her son repeatedly to just basically stop being a wimp?
Yeah, in so many words.
Somebody had pointed out online that when they're putting on the guts and stuff, and then Sam enters the room like Mom, and then she turns around. Someone noticed that she gives that look of, oh shoot, I forgot I have another kid moment. She gives that face of like, oh, now I got to deal with this. It's bad enough that we got to go through outside, but now I got to try to convince them. I think what, and then also too, someone pointed out. I think Sam is just a really unfortunate, clear symbol of Alexandria, and just how unprepared they are, and just how truly terrified they are when they come face to face with all the darkness that our group has been through. And he's a kid. He's a kid. So what more can she do for her poor little kid who's gonna get some people killed? I'm sure.
I have to give her more than a little credit, but I have to give her credit because I think they really emphasize that he's got a very vivid imagination. I mean, you go in his room and he's got the action figures everywhere. He's drawing these pictures, of what Carol had talked about. And so I think they were emphasizing that he has a really vivid imagination. And I think Jessie tried to use that to get him to come around, like pretend that you're someone brave, use your imagination. So I think she tried to use what he had a strength in to try to bring him around and bring him out of it. You know, he just kept telling him to pretend you're someone brave. You know, if you can't say it yourself, use your imagination, put yourself in that scenario and be that person. So I think she was, you know, that was clever or, you know, I mean, smart to try to use what he could relate to.
Very true. What do you think, Alyssa?
Well, I was just thinking, I was listening to Tova on Talking Dead, and she was saying, you know, they've been there ever since the beginning of it, so they haven't really seen anything like this. So what you're seeing is like Sam's first big encounter with actual, like, life or death. I mean, he's been pretty protected in there, so it's like he's kind of collapsing really quickly. And yeah, it is very symbolic of Alexandria as a whole. I hope they can get it back somehow. I don't know.
Very true. And
yeah.
And Tova had an amazing final episode, I would say. She went out like a boss in the mid-season finale.
Okay, I have a question about that, though. She went over with Michonne about how she knew, or maybe it was Rick, forgive me if I'm wrong, how she knew what to do, that she knew she needed to take herself out before it got too close. But did she not use all of her ammo on the walkers approaching her? I mean, does she have anything at her, anything available to kind of do the deed, in other words?
I don't think
really
so.
bad about that.
I don't think so, and I think that's what she wanted. Instead of going out, not to say like you know, taking yourself out would have been like the cowardly thing or like the submissive thing, but I think she just wanted to go out fighting.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that did a lot more to her character. Like it gave her more of an arc because she was the leader, yes, but she was very, you know, sensitive and just very like, you know, kept to herself. I mean, she was a tiny woman, so then to see her leave the world, you know, swinging, I thought it was very, very awesome.
And that's true. That makes it
there's
even
no way
bigger
she survived.
sacrifice.
Right, there's no way she survived, but she went out like a boss. Yeah.
But now she's going to end up a walker. But it was like, you know, she'll end up as a walker, I presume, but that's an even bigger sacrifice than saying, you know, I'm going to take care of this on my own and kill myself.
And I'm actually really, really surprised that, I mean, I'm trying to think back throughout The Walking Dead right now. I feel like there hasn't been a death like Tova's. And usually when you watch zombie movies, there's always that person who's like firing straight at the zombies and just gets devoured by them. But I don't feel like we've ever seen that on The Walking Dead so far. So that's actually pretty interesting.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. It looked like Tyrese. It looked like Tyrese for that one scene was gonna go out, like swinging with his hammer, and then he lived. I think that's the closest we've come to a character looking like, they're done, but they're just gonna keep fighting anyway.
Well, and Annie did that in the little town. She was fighting. You know, she was used up all her ammo and telling everybody to run off. I know she wasn't a major character, but you know, when they took her down, she kept firing.
Very true. Now, I'm assuming everybody watched Into the Badlands at least the first 10 minutes to get the that special scene, right?
I like the show too. Actually, I like Into the Badlands. Yeah, I saw the scene. Oh yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but I had it recorded, so I just skipped through it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I did too, Alyssa. Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad.
Well, so what does everybody think about I mean, we've already heard the casting and all that, but now we've got official confirmation that Negan is, in fact, on the way.
I'm terrified. It made me cringe.
Too.
Yeah, it made me cringe. Like, I really did, genuinely. And I was, like, shaking at the end of it. I get so upset about these things, and I just know he's just going to cause so much more heartache, if that's even possible. But, I mean, the show's going to get really dark. Really, really dark.
I kept thinking, I'm not ready. You know, like, there's his name. It's out there. I'm not ready because, again, I'm not a comic reader. so I know all these, I have this horrible vision of him, but I don't really know him. And some people seem excited about him coming on, and I'm just like, I'm scared like you, Alyssa. I'm not ready.
Well, I'm still excited. I just, it's a kind of weird mixture of emotions. Like, I knew it was coming and we've been talking about it, but it doesn't feel real yet. And so when I heard his name, I was like, okay, yeah, it's freaking happening. Yeah, for sure.
I believe that his arrival at the end of the season is going to be just what the show needs to, and this is going to sound kind of weird, it's just what they need to keep the show, relevant and fresh, because it is going to be the end of the 6th season of, a popular show, but yet it's still a show. 6 years is a long time for a story to be going, so I think it's about time, because this whole season, if you think about it, what's the time span been? Like 2-3 days? They really they really slowed this season down.
Yeah.
I think just to get us kind of prepared. Like they don't want to get too ahead of themselves. Negan's just what they need right now. Is what I'm getting at, to put some more life into the show and to maybe bring some more people into it. Because you're right. It's going to get a lot darker. It is. Definitely is.
Yes, and probably more than likely one of our main heroes won't survive the first encounter.
Yeah, that's true. I hope that's the case. Because, like I said, it's been a while since the show has eliminated one of the main characters. I mean, Tova, she was great as Deanna. That being said, she was introduced to us at the end of this, 5th season. And everyone else that's left, Bob and Tyrese, they've kind of come in the middle. We just started to get to like them and really root for them, and then they go. But to see someone like Glenn or Maggie or Daryl or Carl, if one of them gets taken out, it's going to be a big blow, but it's going to be just what the show needs, I think.
Right. I think you're right. I think you're just a braver viewer than I am. I'm a scaredy cat.
Yeah, I agree. I think, personally, I'm hoping it's Daryl, but I have a feeling that in order to make it really relevant and to be as impactful, it needs to be a big character, and I think they're probably going to deliver that in spades.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking for a second, what if they made it Morgan? But they just brought him back. I don't know if they would do that. It would actually impact Morgan more if Negan took out somebody else. You know what I mean? So I guess it's the question of, are they going to stay true to the comics when Negan arrives? Or are they going to stray away and take out somebody else, like Daryl? I mean, Daryl's not in the comics, so he could very much be the first victim of Negan. I don't know.
I feel like
I know a lot of girls would be upset.
Oh yeah, a lot of fangirls will be crying, but it makes more sense. If they go the Glenn route, everybody's already mourned him pretty much once this season, so it's gonna. If they do it to him, it's not. I honestly don't feel it'd be as impactful now that they've already had one fake death of him, and Daryl just makes the most sense since now Dwight already has his crossbow, and obviously Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham were the ones that had the first meeting with any of Negan's saviors.
Right.
Because I love Norman as a person, but my mantra on here is love Norman, hate Daryl.
Poor Daryl.
That's funny.
Now, obviously, Robert Kirkman's already said there's going to be many deaths in the next episode. Who do you have in your death pool?
Who's going first?
You guys want to go first?
Well, I definitely think Jesse and the little boy Sam are going to go. I mean, it just seems like it's bound to happen. And I don't know about Judith, this baby. How is this baby magically surviving? I mean, it seems like that would be really hard. And then they're just taking her out there. I don't know, how long realistically can they keep her around? I don't know if even she'll make it through that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I keep worrying a bit about Tara because she's been so hopeful in the last few episodes and just, like a cheerleader for everybody. We're all in this together kind of thing. So I'm like, oh, no, that might not be good.
Yeah, you caught that. Yeah, I definitely caught that, too. Also, too, because she's pregnant. So that fact can't help but get in my head of, okay, it's going to get a little harder for her. Maybe it's time, maybe she wants to, I think Jesse and Sam, they're gone. Sam momming mom at the end of the episode did not bode well at all.
No.
And also, too, I was looking at the order in which they're all, coming out of the house holding hands. And Father Gabriel's in the very back. So, I don't know. And him showing that kind of courage to Rick, too.
Yeah, he says he won't turn back.
Yeah, I was like, oh, man. I really... I just don't know. I think Gabriel might be in that mix too. I'm not sure, but I think at least half those people coming out of the house. Maybe Tara. If Kirkman said there was going to be a lot of deaths the first episode, I would put them in the mix. Yeah.
Oh well, I don't want to see Jesse go, but I do feel like it's going to happen. I mean, Alyssa, I don't know if you guys saw, I posted it online. Alyssa sent me, images from the comic of the character that Alexandra's playing getting ripped apart. And
no.
and she was taking glee in that. So I was like, well, if I don't watch the show from here on out, she won't be dead.
Yeah,
to me, at least. And then she was like, well, I'll send you screenshots from the show. And I'm like, no.
It's
so yes,
do you want me to remind you about the fact that remember when Rick sees Deanna and it looks like she's turned by the crib and he comes at her with the axe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Rick has an axe. And that's all I'm gonna say as far as what's gonna happen. Yeah.
I remember that comic book scene well. It gives the whole Titanic don't let go scene a run for its money, for sure.
Yeah.
But I honestly do believe pretty much the entire family Jesse is going to be dead.
That's right. There will be Ron. Totally wrong.
Yeah, there will be no full house for them. I really feel like they're going to be all dead.
Yeah. Yeah, empty house. But I still think, because everyone, again, in line with what's happening in the comics, I still think Carl's going to lose an eye.
Yeah, I definitely think that's coming. They've been hinting at that, and they don't just put that stuff in there for no reason. I heard Norman say Scott puts everything that comes across the screen means something. Even if it's not at that point in time, it will be in the future. And I think, that's, if they don't, I'm going to be genuinely kind of shocked because they hinted at it so much. So.
Yeah. Even Andrew Lincoln wanted to have his hand cut off. When the governor was around, and the FX department is like, no way, we can't do it. That's too expensive of a thing to green screen out. So I commend him wanting to have that happen to his character, because it happens to Rick Grimes in the comics. And I think Carl needs something in the show to give people more sympathy for him. Because I think it's easy for it's easy for people to just kind of dismiss Carl. You know, I think out of all the
That's a
main
good
survivors, I think out of all the main survivors, everyone's easier to be like, okay, I'll give up Carl if I get Shane back, or Herschel, or somebody else that's gone.
Well, and he's become
I agree,
so capable too. At this point, he's become so capable that he almost needs a little bit of a vulnerability. You know, we're so far past him losing his mom. Well, not in reality, but season-wise, we're well past him losing his mom, and he's grown into this confident, level-headed, fighter. And so, yeah, maybe that will change things.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like, once again, with almost the governor in mind, it would be so much easier and cheaper to do the Carl I scene. I mean, after the initial, shot, I mean, you just cover it up. So it wouldn't like it cost more.
They did that with the governor. I mean, so they are aware of how to do it. So if they don't, I don't know. Yeah, Carl is doesn't he kind of lose his memory a little bit in the comic after that happens? Like, he doesn't know that his mom's passed.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
So he could backpedal a little bit and not be so strong of a character if he has lost his memory of it and doesn't realize what's going on.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That would be pretty amazing. I guess for that we won't have to wait too long. I mean, I know some fans have already started the countdown. I believe I saw somebody say it was 76 days away until the premiere. I mean, I know it premieres on Valentine's Day next year, which is ironic considering that apparently there's going to be a lot of deaths.
Yeah. Well, my son did the countdown. He pointed out that if I watch an episode a day of the first 6 seasons so far, that'll get us to February 13th. So if we watch one episode a day, it'll get us there to February 13th, and 1 day to wait without Walking Dead.
Cool. Then I'm starting tonight. Then.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'll do it now.
And speaking of watching older Walking Dead episodes, by the time everybody is listening to this podcast, you can actually buy Season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead starring Lincoln as Tobias.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on and get
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up for the Walking Dead wrap-up. I do want to thank Tracey and Lincoln for joining us.
Thank you so
for
much.
having us.
It's quite an honor. I appreciate
Yes,
it.
it is. Thank you. Thank you, CJ.
You're welcome. And I will see you in, not even 5 days, Lincoln, in New York, New Jersey.
That's right, yes. Walker Stalker Con, New York, New Jersey. Anyone's going to be there, come say hi. Let's talk, take a selfie, whatever. Be fun. I'll see you then, CJ.
All right, see you.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the Walking Dead wrap-up. First up, we have an interview with the person you just heard, Lincoln Castellanos, who played Tobias on Fear the Walking Dead. And as I mentioned, Fear the Walking Dead is out Tuesday, which is today, the day I'm posting it, December 1st. So make sure if you have a DVD or Blu-ray player, you go out and get it today. And if you don't, well, it should be on Hulu Plus soon enough. Definitely make sure you watch it. Highly recommend the show. So without further ado, here's our interview with Lincoln Castellanos from Walker Stalker Con Atlanta. Hey everybody, welcome back to Creech Questions. You may know this guy, not only as Tobias, but he's also been a guest on our podcast. Keep calm and listen to Tobias.
Hi guys, how's it going?
How has your second Walker Stalker Con been so far?
Oh, this experience has been all the more amazing. My first experience was Philly in September, so now to be in Atlanta, and for the first time in Atlanta, it's a little surreal. It's still it's been a crazy year. You know, I was a fan of the comics before the show, so to be here after years of loving this world, these stories, these characters, to be a part of this new world with these new characters, it's very much humbling for me. It's a huge blessing to be here in Atlanta, day 2 on Sunday. I'm enjoying it. It's going to be a good day.
All right, and they do call Atlanta kind of basically the biggest show of them all throughout the Walker Stalker Cons. Do you think that's an accurate representation?
I think it's a very accurate representation because this is home. This is home for Walking Dead. And to me, all the locals here are like, yeah, we just drove down the street or whatever. And then to meet people who are like, yeah, we flew in, we drove here. It just shows the passion and love that everyone has for watching this show. And they watch it because of these great characters and the story. Everything's compelling, it's captivating. And we all can connect and come together because we just love good storytelling. And that's what The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead offer for fans. It's a good story, good television.
It is very good television. And I have to ask, you've now been to 2, as we were talking about. Who have you, as a fan, since you're a big fan as well, kind of marked out for this weekend?
Oh gosh, I've marked everyone. Everyone's on my list because I'm still a fan through and through. I got a poster. I'm trying to get all the actors to sign. So I did pretty good yesterday. Yeah, I got about halfway through. So I'm gonna try to see Andy Lincoln today, just so I could be like, "Hi, Mr. Lincoln, I'm Lincoln," and see what happens in our photo op. Maybe make some sparks fly or something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, too bad he doesn't have his red-handed machete, and you could have your knife as well.
I know, right? Someone needs to... Who has a machete? You got a machete? Anyone got a machete? We got to find one for him.
I think Kane Hodder has a machete.
Got to do it. Yeah, let's get on it.
All right, well, I do want to thank you again, and congratulations on a huge first season of Fear the Walking Dead, breaking records all over AMC and cable network television.
Yes, thank you, and thanks to all the fans. I mean, without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you. We love you. We do. I love you. We love you.
We do. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Lincoln. Next up is a interview with a personal friend of mine who, honestly, I've been blessed to get to know on a friend basis. Erik Jensen played Dr. Edwards in The Walking Dead, and I've gotten to know him very well. And I'm actually heading up to Walker Stalker Con New York, New Jersey this weekend, as I was saying, and I'll be hanging with him, and I'll be getting to stay with him for at least a day or so. It's going to be pretty amazing getting to spend a lot of time with him. He's got an amazing family. His wife and his daughter are just as sweet and nice as he is, and he's a really great person. So I'm really stoked to get to spend some more time hanging out with him. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. This interview was filmed at Walker Stalker Con Atlanta, and I really hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did actually doing it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Creech Questions. We are here at day 3 at Walker Stalker Con. I'm here with my buddy Erik Jensen, who you remember as Dr. Edwards on The Walking Dead Season 5. How has it been this weekend?
It's been kind of amazing. I was a little nervous about doing this stuff because I'm kind of from a small town and a bit of an introvert, which is kind of weird for an actor. But yeah, mostly the fans have been amazing. I'm meeting all sorts of kids. We got to do trick-or-treating yesterday. James, the owner of Walker Stalker, put up a bouncy house and a slide. So my daughter's been very happy. I started the morning by doing the bouncy house and the slide about 50 times. So I'm a little more tired than I was yesterday, but it's been a great experience.
It is a great experience, and it's been pretty packed here. Have you had any fun fan experiences so far?
There's a woman who came up to me with a scissors in her chest, and she said, "Can you do anything about this?"
Nice.
But mostly it's been a lot of fun for my daughter to spend Halloween here and to kind of get to know what I do. This is only a small part of what I do. She's been on set with me before and stuff, but she's been hearing about Walking Dead. She's too young to watch it, but she's been hearing about it for a long time, and now finally she's met some of my old friends, some of my castmates. It really is the Walking Dead family, and so she's gotten a taste of that, and I think she really likes it.
So, this is your second Walker Stalker Con, I believe?
This is my second. My first was Dallas. I'm going to do New York, New Jersey, and then I got some projects going right now, so that'll probably be my last one for a while.
Okay.
So if there's any fans who want to come out and meet Dr. Edwards in New York, New Jersey, please come to WSC New York, New Jersey.
Yes, make sure you're definitely there. And speaking of other projects, you've got quite a bit going on right now. Can you tell us a little about everything you got?
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, I think we talked about this on your show. This is my graphic novel, The Reconcilers. Ain't It Cool News gave it a great review, a love letter review. I'm real proud of it. So we're still working on issue 2 of this. So that's issue 1, so a lot of people will pick that up. And then I just did an episode of High Maintenance for HBO. My wife just did an episode of High Maintenance too, so both of us got to work on the same show. And then right now, my wife and I are writing a pilot, 2 pilots actually, for the creator of Oz and Homicide, a guy named Tom Fontana. So I'm kind of sort of entering into showrunner world a little bit. I'm still going to continue to act, and if they invite me back to Walking Dead, obviously I would do that again. But I'm really interested in what Robert Kirkman and Scott Gimple do creatively, and they're kind of a model for what I'd like to eventually do. I don't expect anything I do to ever get this big. But in terms of the storytelling that they do, I think they're real masters of the craft, and so they're a big inspiration. My wife and I are also playwrights, and we wrote a play called The Exonerated, and another play called Aftermath, and this is our 3rd play, and it's called How to Be a Rock Critic. We got some really good reviews in LA, and now it looks like a theater in New York wants to do it. We're just trying to figure out what the schedule is. But the play, Lester Bangs was a rock critic who took lots of drugs. He was kind of like Hunter Thompson. He was kind of a gonzo journalist, the kind of journalist I wish I could be, but I wouldn't survive 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
But so I got to play him every night. My wife directed me. It's a 1-person show, and the estate's really, really happy with it. A lot of Lester's friends came to see the play in Los Angeles and were crying afterwards and said it was like spending time with him again, which was... You know, as far as I'm concerned, I don't need to do the show ever again after that, but these people in New York want to do it. And then they want to do some counter-programming with some of the bands that Lester wrote about. So, like, Act 1 of the night would be me coming out and doing the Lester Bangs play, and Act 2 would be me introducing, I don't know, whoever we could get. Like, you know, his favorite band's the Yardbirds, you know, maybe Patti Smith's band. Or so it'd be a really cool full evening. And I get to meet some of my musical heroes, which is kind of, I guess, the equivalent of people meeting us here.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I got that. All right, well, I do want to thank you again for coming on.
CJ, Creech Questions is one of my favorite shows. It's one of the very few podcasts that I subscribe to, and I highly recommend it for anybody who's interested at all in The Walking Dead and all things monster-related.
Thank you. I mean, that really means a lot. And...
I genuinely like you. I mean, you're not paying me for that. Are you?
No, not that I know of.
You can slip me 5 later.
Okay.
It'll be okay. But thanks for having me, and everybody listen to and watch Creech Questions. I highly recommend it.
Welcome back, everybody. That is going to wrap it up for this week's podcast. I've got some great interviews lined up in the near future. As it pertains to the Walking Dead wrap-up, in 2 weeks we will do a special episode of that, and then it won't be back until right before the mid-season start, so probably around February 8th or 9th, probably around that time, and so it's going to be different not doing that again for X amount of weeks, but rest assured, I've already got 2 special guests for upcoming episodes. It's going to be an amazing second half of the season with our guests, and honestly, I believe with the show itself. This Sunday, we are doing a live podcast, but coming back from New York, New Jersey. So if you're up late, actually, honestly, it's probably not even going to be too late because we should be leaving about 6 o'clock. On Sunday. So we're going to have be me, it's going to be David, it'll be my daughter, and it's going to be professional wrestler Zuka King, who is actually joining us as part of our media entourage and Walker Stalker Con, New York, New Jersey. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Creech Questions.